It's getting more clear by the day on what Giannis Antetokounmpo wants to do with his trade situation, and the team that he wants to go to is 100% guaranteed. However, the New York Knicks do have a hurdle to get over regarding this plan, according to a new update. And also, on top of that, there is another layer that has been added on the side of the Knicks receiving Giannis as well. There's a lot to talk about with this stuff as so much Giannis news continues to come out, specifically regarding the New York Knicks, the team that he has been known to have interest in, because the Knicks are a club that does remind him of a lot of European clubs. The way that the fans are very rowdy and everything about that does excite Giannis a whole lot. Giannis loves being in New York, has a house in New York, works with a business in New York. We know what Giannis Antetokounmpo wants. He's not really hiding it, and even if he was, he would be doing a terrible job at hiding it. The Knicks, as you can see below, are the second seed in the Eastern Conference, 2.5 games back from that first seed, catching back up to the Detroit Pistons. Giannis is aware of how good the Knicks are and the window that the Knicks have right now, and obviously wants to get traded there. And guys, before we fully jump into everything, if you're part of that 56% that's not subscribed to Knicks Digest, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single update. But let's jump into the video, guys. There is a lot to go over on the Giannis situation for sure. As it's no secret, Giannis Antetokounmpo wants to join the New York Knicks. It's very easy to tell, and it's not very hidden well, or it's not hidden very well by Giannis. The man has not really gone out of his way to hide the fact that he wants to be a Knick and that he wants to get traded to the Knicks. However, there is an issue. The Knicks don't have a bunch of draft picks because the Mikal Bridges trade took a whole lot of them away. With that in mind, we do have to figure out exactly what the next plan is regarding Giannis. He wants to go to the Knicks, and at the end of the day, he can only really get there if the Bucks ultimately decide, here's what we're going to do. We're going to let Giannis dictate his future. If he wants to go to the Knicks, we'll find a way to make it work. The Knicks are the massive favorites for Giannis on Poly Market right now and where he'd get traded to. The only other team with double-digit percents, not counting the not traded one, is the San Antonio Spurs with 10%, which honestly does feel accurate. We understand the Knicks are very, very interested in Giannis, and that Giannis was very, very interested in the Knicks over the offseason. According to Shams, Giannis did only seriously consider joining the Knicks, and the two sides had trade discussions, but New York's offer wasn't strong enough to evidently get a deal done. Now, in some new updates, we saw that Jake Fisher mentioned multiple sources insisted this week that Giannis during the summer told at least one Bucks teammate he believed a trade to the Knicks was quite close. The Knicks continue to be cited as a team that must be mentioned in any credible discussion about the Antetokounmpo landscape. On top of that, Evan Sideri said that for the Knicks to obtain Giannis, they need to find a facilitating team who is significantly interested in Karl-Anthony Towns. A third team needs to be willing to help New York offload Towns while sending the Bucks premium prospects and unprotected first-round picks. Now, in regards to Cat, he is someone who is very good, but at the same time, you trade him in a heartbeat for a guy who's putting up 29 points per game, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, with a block and a steal per game as well, shooting 64% from the field. You don't even consider it twice. You trade Cat for Giannis. You trade him to a team that would be interested. Now, there are a few teams here who we could list off who it does feel like there is a actual real chance that would be interested in the services of Karl-Anthony Towns. The Toronto Raptors come to mind. They need a big man. Karl-Anthony Towns is a big man. They do have the Raptors, the man with the most stocks in the NBA, steals plus blocks, in Scotty Barnes, which does help cover for Cat's poor defense. Another team that makes sense is the San Antonio Spurs if they can't ultimately land Giannis. Another team that can make some sense is the Chicago Bulls. There's teams out there that would trade for Cat. There's definitely NBA teams that would be interested in the services of Karl-Anthony Towns. It really does feel like it would not be the hardest trade to get done. It's just a matter of a team that has to be interested enough to give prospects and some draft picks to the Milwaukee Bucks in this 3-team trade. Would that be enough? It depends on what else the Knicks would offer. Now, there's been a whole lot of discussion surrounding what's been going on with this. Knowing that Giannis wants to go to the Knicks, it's made things interesting. However, there is another layer as well to look at. As Chris Persianen did say, trade talks between the teams included Milwaukee submitting a trade proposal to New York that involved both Antetokounmpo and forward Kyle Kuzma. Kuzma this season is averaging 12.6 points per game, 4.4 rebounds, and 2.3 assists with a steal per game, shooting 50% from the field, but only 34% from three. He is a risky player. In a way, does help the Knicks, gives him another scoring forward off the bench, which would be very helpful. He can play the wing forward spot quite well, and he does give him a scorer who can create his own shot. Also, Lakers reunion is hell between Kuzma, Josh Hart, and Jordan Clarkson. But in all seriousness, it is interesting, and I'd be fine with Kuzma going to the Knicks, but you have to start to look at what exactly was that deal that was offered. Now, Billy Reinhart said that he imagines it could be something where the Knicks were receiving Giannis and Kyle Kuzma, who's got 2 year, $42.7 million on his salary, so that'd be a salary cap cut more than anything, and the Knicks, they would be able to offer Karl-Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges, a 2026 first-round pick, a 2030 first-round pick swap, and a 2032 pick swap, and 7 second-round picks. Look, I'd do that if I were the Knicks. I'm being honest, I would. And I know people are going to be against it because we lose a lot of shooting, and Mikal's been excellent. But Giannis is Giannis. He's irreplaceable, and he is that good, and I would rather take the chance on Giannis than anything else. The Knicks would need to find shooting and probably another on-ball defender as well somewhere along the lines. But you do land Giannis, and Giannis' defense is better than Mikal Bridges' defense, and ultimately, Giannis is by far the best player in this deal. At the same time, there's also a chance that this, first of all, there's a good chance the Bucks say no to this trade. This trade does not really help them. They don't need Karl-Anthony Towns or Mikal. Then they're tasked with finding a way to trade both those guys for the right assets and for the right return that they are willing to do so they can actually keep moving and keep moving forwards with all this. However, there's also a chance this wasn't the trade because the Knicks, I think the Knicks would accept this trade is the real thing. I think the Bucks offered this. I'm not saying I would do this trade because I would not. I would 100% not do this trade. Okay? But I think the Bucks asked for both Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson and draft capital, and the Knicks were like, yep, absolutely not. Not doing that. It puts us in the same position you guys are in with Giannis where we don't have a second star. Also, we're not trading Jalen Brunson under any set of circumstances at all. That is something that has to be made very clear. That'll never happen with this team, so there's no point in even asking. And I do think the Bucks asked, and that is what has happened. If you see on Fanspo, you see the Bucks look like they get the better end of this deal, considering that they add wins to their team and the Knicks lose wins. This is what I fully imagine the trade offer the Bucks offered to the Knicks was. Giannis and Kuzma for Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson, where Andre Jackson Jr. is thrown in there for salary reasons. This truly is what I think the Knicks got offered, and it makes sense why they said no. The Knicks are also not expected to pursue Giannis, according to CP the franchise right now, who did say the Knicks are not expected to pursue Giannis here. I consider a deal highly unlikely at the moment. Things can change, but right now they're not actively pursuing him. And, I would expect the Knicks are not really pursuing Giannis that hard right now as well. I do think the Knicks are well aware of the situation that's going on with Giannis, and are very quick to jump and sign and trade for him if they do see an actual window of opportunity where they can get a trade done that they feel comfortable with. The question is, what exactly is that price? Well, it's basically everything the Knicks could possibly offer, but again, it really will have to hinder on could they send Towns to a third team. The Knicks, again, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, they are second in the Eastern Conference, and they're rising, they're climbing, they're getting closer and closer to Detroit's 1 seed, and because of that, are you really going to mess with something that's working right now? It just doesn't make sense to me personally. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Sorry, I know my voice sounds crazy right now. I am sick for sure. But we'll be back. We're all good. We're still pumping out content every single day for you guys. So you want to make sure to be subscribed and turn on those post notifications so you know everything about the New York Knicks there is to know. Like this video. Leave a comment down below. Have a great day. Go Knicks.